Hello world, I'm back. It's been a really long time since I've made a video and I wanted to update you guys about my recent trip to Chicago for the world premiere of Concrete Hearts. So I'm gonna try to be succinct but still tell some stories. So here we go. So sometime last year between December and January of 2015, we were working on a project called Concrete Hearts, which is an indie film, a short film, and it was about the subject of cheating. Many of you will remember some of the videos I posted about that. I did have 2 behind the scenes videos, as well as there was a Kickstarter campaign we did in probably October. Anyway, all this time since then, it has been in post-production with Nathan Tauk, our director, and our cinematographer, Ivy Sheck Snyder, and a lot of the other people that were helping him with that. And I am very excited to announce that it's finally out. You can watch it online. And I got to go to the world premiere in Rockford, Illinois, which is another suburb of Chicago. So I'm going to tell you all about the trip. Okay, so first of all, I didn't think I was going to be able to go because of finances. And thanks to the support of a very generous sponsored donor who doesn't wish to be named, I was able to go, and my flight and bus tickets were covered, which was kind of sort of miraculous if you ask me. So I was able to go on this trip, and basically what happened was I flew from Memphis to Chicago Midway, and I took a bus to Rockford, which was about a 2 to 3 hour drive depending on traffic. And I'd never been on city transportation before, and it was crazy. And so I took a Van Gelder bus, which it's like, I don't know, it's part of Coach USA, so it's the one that it's in the Indiana, Illinois area. And oh, there's this fly attacking me. So I got in really late at night, and I took this bus all the way to Rockford where my director picked me up. Yes. Okay, so on the bus ride, first of all, mostly it wasn't sketchy at all. Like, people were worried about me being in downtown Chicago by myself. Oh, by the way, if you guys didn't know, I'm pregnant. I'll show you a baby bump picture later. So yeah, that's kind of been my world recently. But yeah, so pregnant by myself in Chicago, and so I took this city bus to Rockford, and it really wasn't very sketchy. It was really fun because, okay, last time I drove to Sterling where we filmed, and I missed Chicago completely. I didn't get to see downtown. I didn't get to see the skyscape, which I really wanted to just be in Chicago, and my drive didn't take me through it at all. So this was my first time going to Chicago, and it was nighttime, and I got to see it with all the lights, and the bus went right through downtown. It was so much fun. And then about 2/3 the way to Rockford, this guy gets on the bus, smells like crazy of weed. And I was like, oh gee Lord, I'm gonna be high by the time we get there. Baby and I are gonna be high. But it wasn't so bad. He sat in the back, and then when we're almost there, he starts smoking it on the bus. And I was like, oh my gosh, you've got to be kidding me. My director's gonna think I'm absolutely insane. My baby's gonna be high. And like, nobody wanted to say anything. Like, we were all like kind of like concerned but iffy, and just nobody said anything. So we just made it the rest of the way to Rockford. So I get to Rockford, starving. I had food on the bus, but we went grocery shopping so I could get some things for the hotel. And then my fearless director dropped me off at the hotel, and I got to stay there until the next day, which was the premiere. So the next day, my friend Rebecca gets into town, and Rebecca was our continuity expert on set. So she kept track of making sure everything was in the same place every time. So she shows up at the hotel, and I had to get ready beforehand because, I didn't have transportation because I was there, because I had flown in, right? So, so she took me to the premiere, and we went there together. And we got to see the movie for the first time. But here's the cool thing, which I sort of knew and kind of didn't know. It was a little different than I expected. In order to get lots of people there, it became a community event, which made it really fun. There was a dance troupe that performed. It was a bunch of girls, and so they did 2 songs. They danced for us, and then Next to Normal is a show that a community theater troupe in Rockford is doing, and they performed a song for us. And then Kevin Polke, who was one of our sponsors for the film, did a presentation about suicide awareness. Okay, I didn't know to expect this, but it was really cool. He tied it in with Next to Normal, as did the director. It was very, very unified as a whole, which I really appreciated as an artist. But they used the event to bring awareness to different topics. So this was one of the shirts that I got from the event. It says, SOS, Shatter Our Silence. And on the back, it says, Shatter Our Silence, be the light in someone's darkness. And one of the things that happened was Kevin Polke, who has a company called KP Counseling. He is a licensed family and marriage counselor, in addition to covering other subjects as well. And he and his wife have this other company called Shatter Our Silence, where they bring attention to awareness and teach what you can do to prevent suicide, like directly. So he gave this presentation, which is really awesome. You can find out more information on their website. Just look up Shatter Our Silence on Google. ShatterOurSilence.com, in fact. Just go to ShatterOurSilence.com. And you can find out more about what they do. It is, as far as I know, it's kind of a local thing that they do in the Rockford, Illinois area. But it's really great organization, and they are actually making an impact, which I'm always glad to find companies that, you know, you can partner with, and you can help them out and bring awareness to subjects that are so important. One of the stories that Kevin told while we were there is that his son, who is honestly probably slightly younger than me, and one of his 3 of his high school classmates have committed suicide since being out of high school. Folks, that is a ton. And he went to a small school. They had a small graduating class. That is terrible, terrible, and horrible. And I'm really glad to see that they're doing something about it. So after the premiere, I got to, we had a dinner with the cast and crew. And after that, we went to Baskin-Robbins together because we just couldn't get enough time together. One of the really neat things about a movie premiere is that not only do you get to see the finished product of what everyone created, and movies are so collaborative. Every person's role really matters, whether they're doing the sound mixing or the sound design or special effects, like everything matters to create this end product. So not only did we get to see that, but we get to see people that we never get to see. As an actress, I have so many friends all over the globe that I rarely get to see. And so it was so nice to get to spend some time with my friends and say, hey, what are you working on now? What are you doing next? How's your career going? It's way more than networking because we're actual friends. Like, we're basically family. And but at the same time, I never know when I'll get to see them again, because someone lives in Cincinnati and someone else lives in Rockford and someone else lives in North Dakota, and it's just it's wild. So it's a really neat experience, but at the same time, once you make these dear friends, then you never see them. It's like very rare. So I'm always glad for an opportunity to get to see them. And I'm really thankful that I was able to make this trip. So after that, we went home. We were so exhausted. We all went back to our respective hotels. And Rebecca got to stay with me that night, which was nice. So we got to talk a little bit more, even though it was really late and we were both really tired. And I'm like pregnant, exhausted, be like, don't talk to me. But it was nice getting some time with her because we're good friends by now. By the way, her name is Ageekable on YouTube, and you should all go check out her channel because she is just that, Ageekable. So then the next day, I got to wake up and check out of the hotel, say goodbye to Rebecca, who it was driving back home to visit family for a while. She has a sales job, and so she gets to travel a little bit around the world. And I got to hang out and spend the day with Nathan Tauk and his family, which was really neat. It was his sister's birthday, I think. Oh, yeah, her birthday was the next day, so they were plotting for her birthday, which shouldn't be a secret by now. And so I got to spend time with he and his mama and his sister, and I got to join them on all their errands, literally everything. I went to their voice lesson, I went to their piano lesson and dance lesson, and I got to meet some of their friends and hang out, and we did lots of food because food is a good thing, you know. Excuse me. And then by nightfall, they took me back to the bus station, and I had to say goodbye. And I took the bus back to Chicago. There were no creepy weed men this time, which was thankful. But yeah, and I went back to Chicago, and I flew back to Memphis, and then I stayed the night. I did not get back into Memphis until it was supposed to be like 11:15. I'm pretty sure it was like 11:30. By the time I found my car, which was an ordeal, it was like 12 or 12:30. I was so tired. And then I went to my friend's house and crashed. But it was a wonderful trip. I'm so glad I got to go. I'm so thankful that an opportunity was created and there was a way made for me to go, because I never would have been able to go. And it's always exciting to see a movie, especially when you star in. But the highlight was definitely seeing all my friends. With all that being said, here is a picture of the Concrete Heart poster, which is the cover of our DVD. DVDs are not for sale yet. There was a special limited edition DVD that some of us got at the premiere, but it's not in HD. Oh, cool, that's the back of it too. It's not in HD yet. It does have behind the scenes, which is cool because no one's seen those. But there will be another DVD coming out at a later date that has a full package. Oh my goodness, I can't even believe that I forgot to say this. Okay, so the coolest part about our film is that it's about cheating. And I know it's weird to say, oh, it's cool, it's about cheating. But what it's being used for is it's a tool in addition to be a standalone movie. It's a tool that's going to be used by psychologists and school therapists and churches and counselors of all types to breach the very taboo subject of cheating. How often do you get to talk about cheating? How often do you get to air dirty laundry and say, I had these thoughts, or so-and-so, I witnessed this, you know? It's a really touchy subject. And I'm really glad to say that I'm a part of this project because this movie is going to be breaching the subject. That way it can be discussed after. And you'll see when you're watching the video that the story is about Marty and Alice and their breaking relationship. And then you get to watch these things happen. And you see it from all of these different people's point of view. And the more times you watch it, I swear it'll look different every time, because you'll see it from one person's perspective, then you'll see it from another's perspective, and then you'll notice something else you didn't notice before. It's really neat. It's a really neat film. I think Nathan Tauk did a fantastic job. I'm really proud of my friend for that.
We weren't friends, by the way, before the movie, but now we're definitely friends. He calls my baby Little Pikachu, which is, I don't know, I think it's hilarious.
But yeah, so anyway, I wanted to tell you about that. Watch for that when you're watching the film. And without further ado, here's all the information so you can watch Concrete Hearts online. Thanks so much for watching. I always appreciate my viewers and your support. Acting can be a lonely profession, but I know I've got all of you guys on my side, so thank you so much. Take care. And here is the belly bump picture I promised.